Today on Mount Washington Valley Spirit Podcast, we discuss Schumann Resonances' effects on paranormal investigations. If it were only as easy as grabbing your paranormal investigation equipment and running it to a location and having yourself a fun time investigating for the evening. There are so many scientific situations that a paranormal investigator should be familiar with as to help explain paranormal activity or perceived paranormal activity that may have a natural cause. Someone might mistake a bunch of scenarios that present themselves as paranormal activity when they may have a real-world scientific explanation, such things as ionospheric radio wave propagation, Charles-Bonnet syndrome, cryptomancy, and jamais vu are just a few of the many situations that could possibly be misinterpreted as paranormal activity. It is our duty as a paranormal investigator to provide the most accurate information to our clients, and in order to be able to do that, we must have some understanding of a plethora of science-related subjects in order to avoid making false positives. Today I will be discussing Schumann Resonances, which are another phenomenon that could present itself to affect a paranormal investigation. The ionosphere is a region of Earth's atmosphere that ranges from 30 to 250 miles above the surface of the Earth. The ionosphere has what is known as an anisotropic current, which means a current that varies in magnitude when measured from a different direction. An example of anisotropic would be sliding your hand across a beam of wood. If you go with the grain, it will feel much smoother and have less resistance. If you go against the grain of the wood, it will feel rougher and have more resistance. The situation is similar with the electrical conductivity of the Earth's ionosphere. It varies with the differentiating direction of conductivity flow. This behavior of the ionosphere causes a closed waveguide to be present between the ionosphere and the surface of the Earth. An everyday example of a closed waveguide would be the coaxial cable that brings the television programming from your satellite dish to your cable box inside the house. While that example is one that is made by mankind, the closed waveguide between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere is one found naturally in nature. Due to the Earth's shape having limited dimension, there is a resulting action where the Earth ionospheric waveguide acts as a resonant cavity. A resonant cavity is a location where electromagnetic or mechanical energy oscillates at a higher amplitude than the surrounding area, meaning that electromagnetic radiation flowing through a resonant cavity is stronger for certain frequencies than it is for others. So to simplify everything, there is a phenomenon caused by a naturally caused situation between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere, where there is amplification of certain electromagnetic frequencies that is greater than other frequencies. These frequencies are known as the Schumann resonance. These frequencies are within the extremely low frequency band, which ranges from 3 Hz to 60 Hz. The human ear can generally hear within the range of 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. Sound frequencies between 0 Hz and 20 Hz are called infrasound. Although it is rare, some humans can hear down to 18 Hz. The Schumann resonance frequencies are 7.83 Hz, which is their fundamental frequency, 14.3 Hz, 20.8 Hz, 27.3 Hz, and 33.8 Hz. 2 of those frequencies fall below a human's ability to hear them. A side note is that elephants, rhinoceros, and hippopotami can hear infrasound and use it to communicate within large herds. So how does all of this come to play in a paranormal investigation? Some humans have been found to be sensitive to infrasound. Infrasound has been reported to cause problems with the inner ear, vertigo, imbalance, intolerable sensations, incapacitation, disorientation, nausea, vomiting, and bowel spasm. It is also reported to cause resonances in inner organs such as the heart. Do some of these symptoms sound like something that someone has reported when describing a sensation that they perceive to be paranormal in nature? Whether it is during a storm or on a nice quiet night, infrasound could be present and causing a problem. What are some meteorological phenomena that Schumann resonances have been linked to? Firstly, there are sprites, which are flashes of bright red light above storms. In addition, a few other upper atmospheric phenomena which are similar, including emission light of very low frequencies, also known as Ls, jets, which are a type of lightning, transient red optical luminous lineaments, also known as trolls, which can appear after a sprite and appears as a red spot with a faint tail, pixies, which are a white light above a thunderstorm, green emissions from excited oxygen in sprite tops, also known as ghost, which can appear after a red sprite, and gnomes, which are a spike of light that points upward from the top of a thunderstorm. Schumann resonances are also linked to short-term earthquake prediction. They can be used to monitor global warming and are used during geophysical studies to locate offshore hydrocarbon deposits. Now you are asking, what do Schumann resonances have to do with my investigation? Due to the increased amplitude of the frequencies that I mentioned earlier that are below the level that a human ear can hear, it can do one or more of a few things. Firstly, it can create additional interference and electrical noise within your devices. While I always use a Faraday cage on my voice recorder, I strongly suggest that they are used in an investigation during a storm. A Faraday cage is a small device, typically a bag or a cage, that can surround, say, your voice recorder, and it'll block out a bunch of electromagnetic frequencies, and particularly radio, so they don't interfere with your device. Secondly, there is the possibility for a greatly increased level of infrasound, which can affect the people conducting the investigation. Be aware that there may be spikes of infrasound at 7.83 Hz and 14.3 Hz, which you cannot hear. For those sensitive, it can cause strange sensations that could be misperceived as paranormal. There is equipment available to receive infrasound and give it a display readout on a laptop. To purchase the device, you are looking at spending around $350 and a compatible laptop, and included software is necessary. The device does not work by itself. You will find that there's cell phone applications out there for your cell phone that report that they are able to hear these sounds that are in the infrasound range. Now, unfortunately, your cell phone does not have the technology that is necessary to be able to reliably report these levels of sound, as your phone is not designed to listen to frequencies at that range. Investigating in a lightning storm poses multiple challenges: interference from lightning, Schumann resonances, other infrasound, barometric pressure changes, and potential increase of ionospheric radio wave propagation can cause a great amount of interference with your equipment or your investigators. If you know there is going to be an electrical storm, I suggest rescheduling the investigation. I know. I am aware that some people claim there is more activity during a lightning storm and love to investigate during them. But in reality, the extra interference with EMF meters, REM pods, cameras, and audio equipment isn't conducive to a clean investigation. Your goal is to find the truth for the client and not to have an extra fun with the spooky. I would suggest conducting recreational ghost hunts during storms for the extra fun, but schedule scientific paranormal investigation on days where there will not be electrical storms. Please visit us online at www.mwvspirit.com, where you can find our social media sites and blog. Thank you for listening to the Mount Washington Valley Spirit Podcast, where we don't like to be normal, we like to be paranormal.